Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So Elon Musk is currently in the process of having a generational crash out, and I kind of predicted this in the last video when I said him and Trump are kind of going to start beefing because of this big beautiful bill that Elon Musk has decided to just launch an all-out war on that he doesn't really seem to understand the ins and outs of. You have one of the smartest people in the world that doesn't even understand basic facts about how government works and cannot see the big picture here that many House Republicans were able to see. And it's kind of sad, and it's kind of sad to watch him spiral. Like, I'd like to like Elon Musk. I mean, he's done a lot of good, in my opinion. He bought Twitter. He made it a free speech platform. But the guy is not the most stable mentally, and that we know. We saw him crash out before about the H-1B visa thing back in December. He told Donald Trump supporters who disagreed with him to go F themselves in the face, whatever that means. And now he's just losing his mind at Donald Trump. And I kind of wanted to cover this in this video because it's astounding just how much he has just invested himself in trying to sink this bill that he doesn't understand. And you can look at what he said, because Donald Trump and other people have come out and said that he definitely would like to make sure that you would keep the EV incentives that Biden supported in the bill. Now, it is true that Elon has come out and said, no, he wants to keep these cuts, but, they're not going to be having cuts for these other programs, and there's a lot of pork in the bill. He doesn't really talk about what specific pork, but there is this, big criticism from a lot of these more libertarian types talking about the debt and the debt ceiling being raised, but I don't think they understand that that's likely going to come anyways. And I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it, but if you break up the big beautiful bill into a bunch of little bills, they're going to need 60 votes, and you're not going to be able to pass the good parts of the bill, but you will pass the bad parts of the bill. So would you rather do it with Chuck Schumer at 60 votes, have higher taxes, higher spending, the whole liberal pork, or would you rather do it in this bill in reconciliation where it does get rid of a lot of the Biden pork, and it does mean that you do have these permanent middle-class tax cuts, you have permanent welfare reform, border security? Like, that's the main thing. If we don't have a border, we don't have a country. If we don't have mass deportations, which this bill funds, you're not really going to have a country. And that, I think, is priority number one. So these people need to get that through their thick skulls and understand that we need to pass this bill so we can actually improve the country. The bill does cut a lot of spending. It doesn't include the Doge cuts. I know Elon is not happy about that, but you can't include the Doge cuts because it's a mandatory spending bill. It is not a discretionary spending bill, which is what a lot of the Doge cuts were for. And then he goes on and claims that he got Donald Trump elected all by himself, which is just not true. It is true that Elon buying Twitter definitely helped the cultural discourse. I don't think that's what he's getting at here. And he's also trying to take credit for a couple of Senate seats as well, which I think is even more ridiculous from an electoral perspective. Elon Musk is not why Bernie Moreno got over $100 million and flipped Sherrod Brown's seat in Ohio. So, either way, Elon may have helped Trump. The ground game stuff helped Trump, but Trump was very likely going to win anyways. Trump was already winning big when Elon endorsed him. He hasn't even been a member of the movement for 11 months, and then he wants to call the shots and he wants to dictate everything. This movement has been here long before Elon Musk. It will be here long after Elon Musk. It'd be good to have these powerful people on our side, but we got Trump elected. Now we can actually enact change to the point where we're not going to have to rely on somebody like an Elon Musk to win elections in the future, because we can deliver now for the American people over these next 4 years. But Elon Musk wants to stop that. And it's like this guy is just trying to take credit for literally everything. Oh, no, it's Trump was the creation of Musk. No, Trump was the creation of Donald Trump. I mean, he says that Trump is ungrateful because Elon endorsed him. Therefore, he has to answer to Elon for everything. That's just not true. Besides, Elon campaigned for Donald Trump when Donald Trump was talking about doing every main thing that this bill talks about. But still, Elon has decided to implode even further and just go out there and try to say that Donald Trump is just lost his mind and he's just a liar. And then he goes on and on and on. And then he makes this even more insane post right here saying that Trump is in the Epstein files and that's the real reason they haven't been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. So that's a very, very gross accusation to throw out there. And Elon Musk definitely has not seen the Epstein files. So he's just trying to, I guess you would say, take this angle that a lot of anti-Trump contrarians on the right have taken recently, that, oh, the real reason why the Epstein files haven't been released is because Trump is in them. So there's really no basis for that claim, and that we know Donald Trump was friends with Epstein in the 90s because Epstein, like Trump, was an eccentric billionaire in New York. It would make sense that their paths have crossed, but he's never, been on record flying to the Epstein Island like many other people have been. And it's very unlikely he was involved in a lot of the more shady aspects of Epstein, given the fact that Epstein was thrown out of his clubs for hitting on underage women, I believe, in the early 2000s. So it doesn't really add up why you would have Donald Trump in the Epstein files, and that's why they haven't been made public, because Donald Trump is enemy number one. They would easily throw Bill Clinton under the bus at this stage in the game if it meant that Donald Trump would be like this proven evil villain. Like, let's be completely honest here. So, yeah, that's not true, Elon. Most likely, he's just talking out of his rear end, saying the truth will come out. I don't really think that there's any basis for this, and it's a generational crash out on his part. And it's like, if he's really in the Epstein files and you know this, why would you try to get him elected? Why would you work for his administration? Why would you let your son around him constantly? Why would you be buddy-buddy with Trump, best friends with Trump, and then come out there and say this? I think that it just speaks volumes to how mentally unstable Elon Musk is. You can be a smart guy and build rockets and all that stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that mentally you're going to be the most stable. It doesn't mean that your emotional intelligence is going to be as high, relatively speaking, compared to your IQ. And it's like he has nowhere to go. He was somebody who risked it all to help Donald Trump. He gave up a lot. A lot of liberals were his core customer base at Tesla. He pissed a lot of them off, and now he's pissing off a lot of people on the right because he doesn't understand politics. He doesn't understand what this bill would do. He is buying the nonsense from the Congressional Budget Office that have been wrong time and time again about tax cuts and how they've impacted revenues. They've been very wrong, and they don't take everything into account. And if you want to go by them, well, look at what they're also saying about tariffs, adding $2.6 trillion to the economy that would cause the deficit to go down. So Elon is just being an anti-Trump hack for one reason or another. I don't know if he wanted like some other position and now is like crashing out about it because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then he goes on to say that SpaceX is going to not work with Donald Trump again. And you have him saying, yes, confirming his absurd claim about Trump and the Epstein files. And then he's retweeting another neo-never Trump scumbag, saying, oh, well, Trump was hanging out with Epstein in the 90s or the early 2000s, and he like flew on his plane, which was just from like New York to New Jersey. And even he admits that it's not clear that Trump ever went to the island because he didn't. But it's like, if you're in New York and you're a billionaire, you're probably going to hang out with people that are of a similar caliber. And Epstein, a lot of people look at him and he's like an intriguing guy. There's something a little bit off with him. Eventually we find out what's off with him. Donald Trump was not as entrenched as other people in that relationship, in that sphere of Epstein, compared to somebody like a Bill Clinton. And that's particularly why there's not enough dirt on Trump in that department, because it would have come out by now, and everybody knows that it would have come up by now. But then you have Elon Musk, who has also defended the tariffs and will ignore the CBO report on the tariffs, but will just love to talk about the CBO report when it comes down to things like the big, beautiful bill. And he says the tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. So you were close to Trump. If you actually believe that, Elon, why did you not try to use your influence to talk Donald Trump out of the recession? Why are you now just going on social media and trying to tear down every little aspect of this administration, like the second that your time as a temporary government employee is up? It's a little bit strange to me, and I think it has to do with the fact that, yeah, this bill probably would not help out Elon Musk's business as much as he would have originally liked to hope, even though he's come out and said it. I don't know if he's going through some mental issue. I don't know if it's drugs. Let me know what you guys think about this. But either way, serious allegations that are being thrown by Elon Musk that are baseless, and he's trying to take credit for everything. And it's like, if these allegations are true, why are you trying to take credit for everything? It doesn't add up. But the bottom line is, the guy's not well. I'm Team Trump on this all the way. Elon's in the wrong. I've actually read the bill. I've done my research on the bill. I've made several videos about the bill and how it's going to be a net benefit. And Elon Musk can't see that for some reason. So many other people can't see that. And it's just not very good. They're trying to get influence, and Elon Musk couldn't get that influence, and now he's seething. Many such cases of this in the Trump administration, by the way. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.